What's going on, guys? It is the Zoomer Value Investor here to talk to you guys today about some of the madness we've seen in the stock market, but most importantly, checking back in with some stocks I really think you should add on your watch list and why I think now is the time. So yeah, in 2023, continuing into the summer, we've seen a pretty lucrative bull run. One of the main drivers of this bull run has been AI and a talk of what's called the sixth wave of innovation. The idea of this is that a lot of technological achievements of the modern human era came in certain ways of innovation. So one of the first few ways of innovation would be something like telephone and electricity. The fourth or the fifth wave was something like the internet. And now here we are at the sixth wave, where a lot of people are saying things like AI and automation are really going to propel gains going forward. This is why I was calling out a lot of big tech stocks like Amazon, Google, and Meta, especially in November of 2022. One of the other main drivers are mega cap stocks like Nvidia or Tesla that you've seen really rack up the gains here recently. Nvidia, of course, being a leader in graphics processing units as well as data centers, and Tesla being a leader in electrical vehicles. Amidst all this madness, the fear and greed index has shot up into the greedy sections. From a technical analysis, a lot of stock indexes, especially something like the NASDAQ QQQ, continues to look overbought. A lot of these companies, including Tesla and Nvidia, have run up to absurd valuations, and our high conviction big tech stocks are not quite as cheap as they used to be. You even seen a lot of the smaller, more niche AI companies out there have shot up and racked up huge gains recently too. Look at a stock like Marvell. With all this under consideration, where do we go to find our gains now? As value investors, there's always something out there to buy, and I'm not as intrigued in buying stocks when the stock indexes are shooting higher. However, there is always something out there to buy, and there always is some value out there overlooked. And if you are a person who does happen to stumble upon cash, you can always invest. That is one of the huge things about investing, is not only when is the market opportunity, it's when do I personally have the opportunity and have the cash to invest. With that being said, our first stock is going to be Dollar General. Now this is going to be a retailer. A little bit different than all the fancy schmancy AI tech stocks that have been thrown out there, all on CNBC Business and all of that stuff. Dollar General is a stock that I consider personally, when I look at it, to be about at fair valuation. I don't believe I'm getting a huge margin of safety here. However, I do think I'm buying an elite business at a fair price here. From a valuation perspective, Dollar General is pretty much about as cheap as it's been for the last 5 years, from many different valuation metrics considered. Not only this, but Dollar General is a very unique business in the sense that it's a retailer that really goes out and opens up stores in a lot of different rural areas where a lot of different businesses won't go out and go do. But they've been able to do it very successfully with very impressive margins, as well as compounded at a very impressive rate for their investors. I think with this current setup, with the current wealth effect, especially if you've been following my channel for a long time and you've been invested in stocks like Meta or Amazon, Google, you might have experienced something that's called a wealth effect, and that means you maybe have a little bit more money on hand than you ordinarily would have. And that's when I return to a stock like Dollar General, because I feel like I could just parlay some of that investment into a company like this, and a company like this 3 to 5 years out, I still feel like I'm gonna have some compounding on that investment. The next stock I want to talk about is very much more exciting. Definitely the most exciting stock I personally believe I'm going to talk about today, in my personal opinion. And that is Intellia Therapeutics. Yes, Intellia. This is a gene editing / genomics company. A company that uses a lot of that Crispr innovation. Crispr, of course, being the revolutionary gene editing tool discovered by a professor named Jennifer Doudna, discussed in very good depth here in this book called Codebreaker. I believe in around the year 2012, and that has pretty much unlocked a crazy amount of potential in the medical technology industry, and Intellia is really seizing that opportunity. There is a really lethal, horrible disease out there caused by protein misfolding, called ATTR amyloidosis. Transthyretin proteins in the body start misfolding en masse in the body, and we really haven't had anything to stop it essentially for a while. Intellia came in late 2021 with this New England Journal of Medicine article. If you don't know, the New England Journal of Medicine is by far one of the most reputable sources of any kind of medical literature out there. The amount of peer review, the credibility rating, just the generalized clout. Now this New England Journal of Medicine study comes out in late 2021, and John Leonard, MD, he is the CEO of Intellia, and he is actually listed as one of the main contributors on this study. And this study mentions Intellia, and specifically an Intellia product. And what they found with this product was that it caused about an 87 to 90% reduction in that misfolding nature in the transthyretin protein. And what this did is it severely reduced the disease burden that these people had with involved in the study that they had with ATTR amyloidosis. And Intellia actually very recently, only a few months ago, recently got this FDA approval. Now, a lot of the euphoria on this stock, I believe personally, has came and went. And I believe what I'm looking at here now is kind of a malaise of a market, right? With this gene editing, medtech kind of stuff. That stuff's still in a lot of malaise, I believe, right now. A lot of that biotech, a lot of that stuff. Meanwhile, the market's looking over here at a lot of this different AI and flashy, stuff, sending it to like rocket high, sky high valuations. And meanwhile, all this stuff that still has a huge runway for world-changing innovations that in its own kind of way, I do believe will be involved in this sixth wave of innovation. Maybe this will be the seventh wave that comes immediately like 3 to 5 years after this sixth wave, if it is happening now. And we do get like crazy market gains right now, which I'm not going to go on a whole tangent whether we're going to go into a bear or bull market in this video. But my point is, a lot of the developments in the company of Intellia, them getting their ATTR product out there into the market, a lot of that is happening. And this isn't the only product they have out here. This is just really the one I really wanted to mention in this video. But with the setup I'm seeing here, it really looks like Crispr Therapeutics and Intellia are going to be the leaders in this gene editing genomics kind of space. And I do want to mention that Crispr does by far have the better cash position, but when I'm comparing the pipelines, I really see Intellia as the one I'm more excited about pipeline-wise and product-wise. I'm really going to throw Crispr into the mix on this video because I'm really excited about Crispr, and I do, of course, have, a value investing lens, and I see Crispr as a pretty attractive investment, especially considering their cash positions. If I had to make a gamble on which one I think might compound a little bit more handsomely, I'm taking that gamble with Intellia. Now, I actually want to talk about another two biotech stocks here that kind of do have a similar relationship with Intellia and Crispr. One of them, I'm a little bit more excited about the immediate pipeline. The other one, I'm a little bit more excited about the future and the potential. Now, Moderna is a company I'm really excited about. The immediate pipeline, the immediate products that are coming to market. I've talked about Moderna in depth in another video where I discussed BioNTech versus Moderna. Two very similar pharmacy companies. That's a video you guys can go check out if you guys are interested in that. It's going to be a lot more in depth than just my little spiel here today. I'll actually discuss all the pipelines of the two different companies and all the things of that nature. The other stock of this nature I want to talk about, yes, is BioNTech. Now, BioNTech, I'm a little bit more excited about the future. I'm a little bit more excited about the actual team that's, working at BioNTech and what they could kind of maybe do 5 to 10 years out, compounding wise, product producing wise, all those things I'm interested as a biotech investor. But essentially with both of these two companies, the market really has kind of written them off as like, I'm not going to say the word, but V-scene stocks. YouTube just gets shady with some certain words. It's like really weird. But so they ride them off as these V-scene stocks, and it's just really interesting because when I looked deeper at both of these companies, BioNTech and Moderna, what I started to look at was these companies are curing they're trying to cure a lot of other really interesting diseases. And this platform of mRNA usage that they implemented, during the pandemic and things of that nature to get those vaccines out there in mass scale, what I will say is it worked very quickly because the inception of the pandemic really started in late of 2019 and scientists didn't really start cracking down on it until like January of 2020, and that was before really the broader public even knew. And by the end of that year, they had a product ready to market, ready to go. And it certainly is more effective than the vaccine that they're using in China, by far, indisputable. Check the numbers, check the science. But I'm really interested in what these companies are going to do here in the future, because these companies got a huge bolster of revenues. They got a huge bolster to their assets and balance sheet, which is actually huge still, because we are going to be investors in these companies. That it is kind of nice. They do have like a lot more assets, a lot more kind of like profitability under their belt. And I'm not really sure that the amount of winnings that these companies are about to unfurl onto themselves is really priced in at this time. These companies went to euphoric highs during the pandemic, and people thinking that, you know, freaking out about just the future or whatever. Of course, yes, that was a bubble, but looking at the price of these companies now, and I'm seeing things like BioNTech bringing a shingles product to market. Shingles being the more intense second wave development of chickenpox that comes later in some people's lives if they're infected with chickenpox. And so you see BioNTech working on shingles product, and I'm seeing all of these different things, and it's just like, man, I feel like the market has really written off what these actual two stocks could do for curing diseases, which is hugely disinflationary, hugely economically profitable, especially in the United States of America. And it's like, man, it's just like, shoot, this is not a bad place to just maybe put a little investment, just my personal opinion. Of course, not a financial advice, never ever offering financial advice on this channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope everything made sense about what I think about the current state of this market here in early Q3 of 2023. I think it's really too late to go chasing a lot of that AI tech stock stuff. I think investors, especially value investors, are better looking at other pockets of the market and trying to find kind of like the next big thing to pop off themselves. And when I look around, I think it's actually really good to maybe sit on some cash here. Make sure you're good, you know, all your debts are paid off, all things of that nature. Of course, always put that at high priority. But you know, why not maybe spend a little bit of money on like yourself or something you want or something of that nature. I'm personally kind of having stocks at the back burner a little bit right now. Definitely not buying as many stocks as I was in something like Q3 or Q4 of 2022. But I do think it's really good to kind of just religiously put a little bit of money in the market pretty much all the time. Especially when you're young. So dollar cost averaging in great businesses over a long period of time, I don't think has ever done anyone wrong. So on that note, I'm going to end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I really enjoy this channel, everything I do. Thank you so much for all your support. It really means so much to me just to be able to have this audience I can parlay my own personal, individual, and amateur, you know, research on, and they just take it and they enjoy it, and they just parlay back to me their own thoughts and their own research and their own insights. And it's really useful because you know, I'm the Zoomer value investor going through this value investor journey myself, finding, you know, some of my next 10 baggers, 20 baggers, you know, all things of that nature. Man, CleanSpark stock, that one's been going crazy lately, but yeah, so much to be excited about. I'm just really happy to be back on the camera and getting back to it. I'm thinking about dropping some full analyses soon, but I'm not sure. If you guys have anything you want to see specifically, let me know. I'm really interested in video ideas, so thank you so much. Peace.